It's probably not that much better, but maybe some. Is that better? I'm gonna see, still like that light is right in my eye, but we're gonna so annoying. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I think I can see myself. I'm not as close, but I think you guys can see me much better here. So is that better? Give me hearts if you guys can see me and hear me much better than you could the first time. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so thank you for joining me. This is Word Wednesday, take 2. And I'm here this morning. I am Pastor Joyce Gilmer, author, speaker, life coach, dream activator, dream accelerator. And I am the CEO of Empowered Living Coaching and Consulting. And I'm here on Wednesdays with a ministry platform. I am also a life coach, a certified professional coach, and a certified Christian life coach. But on Wednesdays, we come from a ministry perspective with some practical tips based on spiritual foundation. And so today, thank you so much for the hearts. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to be changing the platform just a little bit. So I'll do the greeting in the morning, but I may not, in the beginning of the scope, but I may not do as much interaction in terms of responding to you throughout the scope. And then I'll do more at the end. And that's because I'm working on actually saving these scopes and repurposing them for use in the future. And it'll be easier for my person to edit as we move forward. So just so you know, I'm not ignoring you. I appreciate everyone for being here. But because I am late this morning, I am going to jump right into the content. I intend to be very transparent with you today. The word for today really came from my personal experience and what I have been experiencing probably over the past week. I have, yes, repurpose. I have been just in this place and just in this sense of really feeling like overwhelmed. That's just the word, feeling really overwhelmed, feeling like I was just looking at all that I have to accomplish, all that I have to get done, and the short amount of time that I have to get it done in. I'm looking at the fact that I'm in a graduate level program. I'm having to write oodles and oodles of papers with oodles and oodles of resources and citing. I have, and I was behind in my schedule without even knowing that I was far behind as I was. I've had to write 3-4 papers that are due. I have client projects that I need to give attention that have to be done. I have 2 weeks of travel for ministry coming up that I'm trying to prepare for. And so I just was in this place of just really overwhelmed. And I had a short window because I had made commitments to get these projects done, right? And so with that mindset, my pastor checked in on me on Sunday. I didn't even go to church Sunday because that's really where I was at. And I just had to get some homework and stuff done. And so my pastor checked in on me and she asked me via text, hey, just want to check in on you. How are you doing? You know, what's going on? And I said, I said 2 things. I said overwhelmed and overbooked. That's how I feel because everything kind of converged at the same time. And generally, I'm very much a planner and an organizer, and I strategize and all of that. But something just happened over this last week with this massive convergence of everything. Like everything needed my attention and it all needed it right away. And so with that in mind, I was looking at it from the lens of overwhelmed being something that happened to me. Like it's a result of something that has happened to me. And so with that frame of mind, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm drowning. I'm just like, have this whole mindset of, what in the world is going on? And when I looked up the definition of overwhelmed, it talks about being buried, drowning beneath drowning beneath a huge mass. It talks about being submerged, and it talks about being inundated, and all of that is what I was feeling. And even the Urban Dictionary says it defines overwhelm as this: it's a mixture of stress and depression. Like, wow. A mixture of stress and depression. And I have to be honest, I was almost there. I told my husband, I said, I'm almost at the point of like, I feel like I want to cry. This is ridiculous. Like, what is going on? Because again, this is not my norm, right? And so I failed to remember, though, that overwhelm is not a noun that happens to you as a result of something. That literally, the word overwhelm is actually a verb. So when you switch the lens of Overwhelm being a result of something that happens to you, and you take it and you make it an actual verb, and you can take authority and use that word overwhelm and actually make it an action word, then it switches the entire meaning. And I was asking God, what do you mean by that? He was like, you are not overwhelmed, but you can overcome. He's like, you are not overwhelmed, but you are overcomer. Do not be overwhelmed, but overcome. Do not be overwhelmed, but overcome. Do not be overwhelmed, but overcome. And I'm saying, what? So I had to go to the scripture. He led me to the scripture in 1 John chapter 4 and verse 4. And it says, you are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. And then 16:33 says, these things have I spoken unto you, that in me you might have peace. In the world you will have tribulation. But be of good cheer, because I have overcome the world. So because of the fact that Jesus already overcame, he takes the word overcome and puts it in a verb format. So when you think about it in a verb tense, it's not like it's happening to me. But what if you were to say, I am overwhelmed? Like, I am overwhelming. Overwhelm what's overwhelming you. Bury what's trying to bury you. Take authority over what's trying to take authority over you. You're reversing the impact. Instead of it being something that happens to you, it's something that you do to the thing that's trying to overtake you. Does that make sense? So instead of me feeling like I'm overwhelmed by my assignments, overwhelmed by my homework, overwhelmed by project commitments, overwhelmed by everything, I'm like, you know what? I need to take authority over what's trying to take authority over me. So then I had to put some things into place, into some action steps. And I said, well, if I'm to overcome, because I have conversations with God, if I'm to overcome, then how is it that I'm supposed to overcome? Like, how is it that I'm going to get out of overwhelm and be able to overcome? And I began to research these particular words that began to pop up. In the verb format of overcome, it means to defeat completely. It means to conquer. It means to vanish from existence. Come on. It means to overflow, overthrow. So when I take it in that sense and I say I'm going to overwhelm, I'm going to defeat it completely, I'm going to conquer it, I'm going to vanish it, I'm going to get it out of my existence, I'm going to overthrow it. When I take authority in that way and I begin to overcome in that way, instead of feeling overwhelmed by everything, but I overwhelm what's overwhelming me, now I've changed everything, looking through a different lens. And so now I put myself in the place of a conqueror instead of the one that's being conquered, right? So I looked up this word, then I looked up the word overcome. I said, okay, well, how am I supposed to overcome? Y'all getting a bonus today. So overwhelm is the first word, overcome is the second word. And when I looked at this word overwhelm, I was led to this word trounce. 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 It means to defeat heavily in a contest. It means to defeat easily. It means to defeat thoroughly. It means to defeat by a large margin. It means to thrash. It means to crush. It means to annihilate. Do y'all see the power switch that's taking place in that? From being mixed with depression and stress to now this place of authority and position and conquering and defeating heavily and defeating easily. And so I want to encourage you today to get out of overwhelm and to walk into your authority and your position of overcoming and take the power to trounce on what has been trying to trounce on you. That word trounce means to flatten. It means to crush. It means to snuff out. That's the level of authority that we need to be walking in and getting out of overwhelm. To trounce on it, to defeat it, to annihilate it. When it talks about defeating easily and with a large margin, to me that means there's so much space between. You've got such great victory and you've overcome at such a large and wide level that the gap between what was trying to destroy you over there and take you out to where you are walking your victory today is so far between. The enemy is so far away from you. That defeat and depression and despair is so far away from you. The enemy can't even reach where you are because you are walking in such a great place of victory, another level of victory, another level of peace that God already says he has given us because we are overcomers. So the words have been today moving from overwhelm, getting the mindset and looking through the lens of a conqueror and an overcomer so that you can then trounce on what has been trying to trounce and overcome you. So now, that's the spiritual foundation. That's the Word of God. That's the dictionary. But I want to give you all some very practical tips and some things that have helped me to get out of overwhelm. One of the things that I had to do immediately is I had to assess what happened, what failed in my systems, because I'm a systems person, I'm an organizer, I'm a planner, I got a scheduler, I have a calendar, I try to put things on calendars, I try to really hold commitments to my clients, and I just was so off balance and so off kilter. It frustrated me because I'm a perfectionist too, which is a whole nother something else we got to talk about one day. And so I don't like that because it makes me feel like I flaked out, people don't trust me, then I'm not integral, like all these things start taking place in my mind. And so I said, well, wait a minute, hold on. Let me just sit back and let me assess, where did the system break down? So your first action step when you are in overwhelm, I want you to sit down. I want you to make a list of the things that are requiring and demanding your immediate attention. Make a list of everything that is overwhelming you. If you were a coaching client, this is one of the things I would do with my coaching clients. I would have you write down everything that is overwhelming you. Make 2 columns. And after you write down the name of what's bothering you, what's overwhelming you, in the second phase, or the second column, I want you to label it the things I can do something about immediately and the things I really can't do anything about at all. And the things that you can't do anything about at all, you automatically scratch those off your list. You're overwhelmed by them for no reason. If you have no power, no authority, nothing to be able to fix those things, then why are you stressing out about them? Don't stress about those things. That already is going to lighten your load. But you need to be able to see it on a piece of paper. It's going to, I can't do nothing about that anyway. Scratch that dent in your car, the cracked window right now that you don't have money to fix. Cross off your list. I mean, don't be worried with those things. Then you need to take the things that require immediate attention and prioritize those things by what you can give attention to first. Maybe you need to rearrange. For me, I had to call some clients. I had to say, you know what? I need to reschedule you for a different time slot because I had 2 people really close together. I knew it was not going to work out. I had to call and make rearrangements. I had to renegotiate some contracts. Listen, I know I said I was going to have it to you by this day, but can I have another 3 days? Can I have another 2 days? Because all of that weight on me and the responsibility on me was weighing me down and putting me in this place of overwhelm and a defeatist mindset. So I had to change my lens. And so you can do that. Just call, rearrange your calendar, reorganize some things, strategize your sessions. What you say? Navigate over your course, structure your outcome. Yes, to achieve you sound like a coach, to achieve your desired result. That's what you really need to do. And so that was just one very practical thing that I did on this week. Then I realized that my homework, because it has a higher level of priority, I had to take one day and just try to knock it out. Just write papers back to back to back to back. Lord have mercy. I prayed and God helped me to do it, right? So I'm now, instead of having 4 papers to write, now I have 1 more paper to write, 1 more set of questions to write, 2 more client projects to get done. But I'm making it happen. So now it's not 10 things I'm getting done. Now my list is narrowed down to 4. Does that make sense to y'all? Is this helping you guys? I need to know if this is helping you at all. Yes, and as you begin to cross off the items on your list, it's like the weight gets a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter. And you can kind of start to see your way. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do this. All right, I got this. Okay, yes, I got this. And so that's really what I wanted to help us to do. I wanted to come from a very transparent place today because I think people often think, when they see you on flyers and programs and preaching and traveling and, coaching and having your own firm, that you got it all together. But the reality is I don't always have it all together because I'm human just like you. How about that? And so we all have these things that we're navigating through. We're all multitaskers. We all have businesses and children and families and careers and corporate positions that we're trying to navigate through and work things through. And so that's one of the things I wanted to help us with today. So today's words, you got a triple play bonus today. I hope that has been a blessing to you. Listen, before I go, I do want to tell you about 2 things. Well, one thing, really. Next week, I am going to Saginaw, Michigan for the Live Your Dream Conference. If you or anyone you know is in the surrounding area, you were there last week. Yeah, just had to stop me too. Just had to stop. And really for me, from a truly honest perspective, when I get like that, I just get all in my flesh in terms of I try to figure everything out, out of my own recognizance. And so what I did was I had to just really go empty out in prayer. I had to just get on my face and like, okay, God, I'm doing too much. Show me how to navigate through this, how to keep my commitments but still get things done, etc. So I had to empty out of my thoughts, my ways, the way I want to do it, how fast I wanted to get it done, and then allow him to pour into me a new direction and a realignment for the assignments. And so that's what's really has helped me. So I hope that has helped you. So next week I'm going to Saginaw, Michigan for the Live Your Dream Conference. You can go to thelydc.com and you can find out about that event. If you know anyone in or around the Saginaw, Michigan area, those daytime services, the evening services are open to the public. So if you know anyone that needs to identify, activate, implement their dreams, wants to find out how to really move their dreams forward, wants to know how to write their books, wants to know we have a therapist on staff. We have, not on staff, but on program. We have a publisher. We have a life coach. We have Bishop Alfred Johnson, who is heading this particular conference. So if you know anyone around that area, let them know they can get to the evening services for free without any charge. If they want to be a part of the daytime sessions, and they do need to register, and you can go to thelydc.com to find out how to do that. Okay, you can also find out about me at Joyce Gilmer. Thank you so much for all the hugs and the love. I appreciate it. You can find out about me and my coaching services, ministry opportunities, etc. at joycegilmer.com. JoyceGilmer.com. And because of this newfound freedom and being released from Overwhelm, I decided that I am not going to receive any more clients until May 1st, because that is a wisdom step, because I want to stay in this good place to be able to serve all of my clients with excellence. So I'm going to complete all of my projects for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to do my ministry assignments, and then I will begin opening the doors to accept new clientele as of May 1st. See, that's the wisdom, and that's a practical way to even do with your own business. Do not try to feel like you have to accept every client and accept everything, because see, what I did was I prayed for God to open the doors, and when the doors started opening, I was just like, yes, 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 yeah, oh, yes, 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 you know, I'm just like, I can do it all. But it became too much to manage with my current schedule. So use wisdom in that. Wisdom is the principal thing the Bible tells us. So thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I love you. I love you, Chris. Thank you, Lady Boss. God bless you all for being here, for being present, for hanging out. If you were a part of the revival last night, thank you for showing up for the Perry revival. We had an awesome time with the women who shared on the word from pain to power. They showed up. They showed out. They spoke life to us. And we appreciate them also for being present. Hey, Marquisa, have a good day. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all next week on Wednesday. God bless you all. Have a great day.